What is going on, people? Yeah, it's about 2 or 3 in the morning. Yeah, that's right. I did it. I shaved, I cut it off. Yeah, all the scruff is no longer rough. Anyway, so, try to adjust this light. Haven't told the story in a while. Figured I'd tell a story about picking up the van yesterday. So let's start at the beginning. So I woke up. Let me try to get this light right. Let's try this. So I woke up and it was snow on the ground. And I knew it was going to be rough. When it was snow on the ground in DC, that was enough for me to know that things was going to be bad. So I went to rent the dolly. I rented the dolly out, got on the road, and I'm rolling on along, and then the van starts acting up. So I searched for the problem, and then I locked myself out of the van. Then I had to break into the van. Then the cops came because they saw me breaking into my van. And then when I explained to them that it's my van and I'm trying to get back into it, they didn't believe me. And they asked me for ID, and the ID was sitting in the van in the middle thing here I have on the floor, and it was bad. It was really bad. So once I finally convinced them that I'm breaking into my own van, and I broke into my van and got my ID, they believed me. They left me alone. So I got back on the road. At this point, the van is struggling up and down hills. I have to stop every 20 minutes. And it starts snowing. It wasn't snowing a little bit. It was snowing a lot of bit. It was snowing. It was coming down. And, let's see. By that point, I was over by Morgantown, West Virginia. And I was coming through the mountains. There was a patch of ice going down a 5% grade. It was about 20 feet long. I hit that patch of ice. Wonder what happened to the car dolly? That's where the car dolly's demise began, with the patch of ice. The van slid sideways, the car dolly hit the guardrail, and it bent one of them wheels almost, well, I can't show you, but it bent one of the wheels inward. So I kept on going. I kept on rolling, and finally, when I got to the van wouldn't start. So we had to jump it. So we get it running, we get it on the dolly. I'm pulling it, and then I noticed that something ain't quite right. And the wheels somehow turned, because it didn't fit on the dolly. It didn't fit. I'm glad I got that's another thing. Get the $8 insurance. It's worth every penny, because I wrecked the dolly. There's no question about it. The dolly is done. So the van didn't fit on it, but we had to make it fit, and we tried to put the thing on there, but when I turned the corner too sharp, the wheels turned and the straps came loose, and the van fell off the dolly and proceeded to roll toward the river, where I had to back my van up faster than the other van toward the river to stop the van from falling into the river. So I just backed up, and then I pulled forward and hoped that it didn't knock me into the river. And the van ran dead into me. Yep, it did that. But it's okay. Van's all right. My van's all right. Both vans are all right. So I called the guy, because I couldn't go out there and reload this thing by myself. So both of the guys came up. And this time we said, well, we'll just put it on backward. Genius idea. Except for the fact that there's either a bad tie rod or the Pivot arm has a bad joint. There's a bad joint somewhere because it was doing this the whole time for about 3 miles. And when it got really squirrely, when I got up to about 40 miles an hour, excuse me, it got really squirrely. I mean, really, it was bad. It was, yeah. So then I turned it around and went back to the gas station, and the guys came back to help load the thing in. So we turned it around this time, put it on the dolly, strapped it down by the A-arms, and prayed. And it worked. So I'm pulling the thing, and my van is acting crazy. At this point, I'm doing about 25 miles an hour. The GPS said that it was going to take 5 hours to get back here. Now, 5 hours would have been right around 1:30 in the morning. Well, I didn't get here until 5 this morning, 4:30, 5 o'clock. Why did I not get here until 4:30, 5 o'clock, you may wonder? Because I had to do 40 miles an hour most of the time when I wasn't climbing mountains on 68. Because when I was going up the mountains, we wasn't even making it to 45. We was only going like 10. And that's when I realized that that van might be a little heavier than this van. Maybe I should be pulling this van with that van. But the headlights don't work, and so that was not a possibility. On top of that, we had more ice, and it seems like the ice was only going downhill. It was nothing going uphill. It was all down. I almost lost it 3 or 4 times. So anyway, coming through the mountains, you see a lot of strange things at night. A lot of strange things. I don't know what happened. I don't know if I was just tired. Nah, I wasn't just tired. I know what I saw. So, okay, I don't believe in, like, Bigfoot, right? Before I get to Bigfoot, there was a random cow. Just random. Just the randomest. It was just walking. Just in the middle of the highway. Now, I know 60 ain't got a whole lot of traffic on it, but this cow was just moseying on along, and he the only one out there. Now somebody else had to see this. And where did the cow come from on 68? Nothing but mountains. Nothing but mountains. So anyway, I went on past the cow, and I said, well, I guess I gotta watch out for deer, sheep, and cows. And I just kind of crept on along, and then I saw something ahead of me, but my headlights on this van aren't that bright, and I didn't know what it was. I thought it was a person. So I slowed down, and I stopped, and I cut my high beams on. So it wasn't a person. It was a Sasquatch. Now I know you're saying, Brother Tom is full of shit. Brother Tom is not full of shit. I don't know what the hell this thing was, but sure enough, if there is a Bigfoot, this was it. This thing, whatever this thing was, sure enough, through the Allegheny Mountains, it was there, man, and it was live as day. And I'm not the only one that saw it. It's the funny thing. There was a truck driver that pulled up, and he stopped too. So it ran on across the road up. Now I'm thinking that maybe that's trying to eat the cow or something. You want some hamburgers or something. I don't know. But so anyway, I go on about my business. We get up all the way out to Route 70, Highway 70, and I had to get gas. And the van is just running. Sometimes it run good, sometimes it run awful. And I'm pulled into the gas station, and the truck driver that stopped back there was already at the gas station because I was just creeping on along. He said, man, did you see that? And I said, unfortunately, I can't unsee what I saw, and I don't know exactly what the... He said, man, that was Bigfoot. I can't argue with the man because there ain't no other excuse. There's no other realistic... It is what it is. It's Bigfoot is Bigfoot. I don't know what else to say. So anyway, I tried to get gas. I couldn't do it because the van decided that when I made the turn into the gas station, it was going to come off the dolly. And it came off the dolly nicely, and I didn't know it was off the dolly, and it just rolled into a space and stayed. So once again, I had to put it back on the dolly. This time, the dolly was broken. Broken good. So I had to rig up the dolly to work. Now, after this point, nothing actually went wrong all the way until the morning time when I got up and looked at the dolly real good, and both sides of it was broke. And so I went and took it to the U-Haul place. Oh, before I do that, so pulling the van off the dolly at 5 o'clock in the morning, one of the straps got stuck in the wheel. And so I said, well, I'll just back up and get it unstuck. Genius idea. Yeah, I tore the I think it was the left fender off. And I just sat it back on there and said, screw it, I'll fix it tomorrow. Well, that's what y'all saw today, by the way. Yeah, so when I took it to the U-Haul place, they looked at it and they looked at me and said, what happened? And I said, a lot. That's all I could say. I couldn't say nothing else. There was nothing else that I could say because nobody would believe me. I can't make this shit up. Nobody would believe me. Nobody. So that's the story of how I picked the van up and stuff of that nature. If you're ever going down 68, be careful because there's random wild cows for some reason, and there's a Sasquatch. Might be a family of them or something. Anyway, I will talk to y'all later, and yeah.